Indian Cabinet has cleared an ordinance to extinguish the legal tender status of the old currency notes. So what was the need for the ordinance? Top government sources have told CNBC TV 18 that unlike the previous occasions of demonetization, which started with an ordinance, this one started with a mere notification, and hence the ordinance was required to complete the demonetization process. Now, the old notes bear the signature of the Reserve Bank governor over the text that reads, and I quote, "I promise to pay the bearer the sum of 50 or 100 rupees. Now, the promissory nature of these notes must be extinguished. What does the ordinance entail? Remember, details have not been made public yet, so we don't have the fine print. But what we understand from top government officials is that the Reserve Bank will take old notes till the 31st of March, but perhaps the Reserve Bank will specify special classes or categories. The Prime Minister had promised this window in his speech announcing demonetization on the 8th of November. Not just that, the ordinance is also expected to outline other key provisions like penalty on the possession and transaction using old notes after the 30th of December. For more on this, we're now joined by Sapna. Sapna, we're still waiting for the fine print of the ordinance. Perhaps we'll see it on the 30th of December, but what are you picking up from sources within the government?
The new proposed ordinance on old notes after 30th December that will come into effect basically talks about the fact that even in terms of exchanging the old currency at the Reserve Bank of India counters, because that's going to remain open till 31st March, well, that window is going to be very, very restrictive. The government has proposed to allow only certain classes, certain categories to go ahead and, avail the exchange facility at Reserve Bank up to 31st March. People who are going to miss the bus in terms of their deposits in banks up to 30th December, if they want to opt for the RBI counter option, they may have to face some penal consequences or some kind of penalty could be imposed looking at depending on the amount that they would like to get exchanged. So that is the second aspect. Third, of course, there is no provision for a jail term in the ordinance. That will be made good basically by the penalty clauses that we are talking about. The ordinance also proposes to make these changes effective by amending the Reserve Bank of India Act. And last but not the least, in terms of the promissory nature of the demonetized currency, we understand that that would still exist up to 31st March.
Well, that is right, Sapna. Thanks very much for joining us. Now,